Hey guys, and welcome back. Apologies for that first video. We had a bit of a technical glitch and my OBS crashed and then proceeded to display neon colors all across my screen. So that was absolutely awesome. Anyway, welcome back if you watched the previous video. This time it's working well, so it's a good thing. Anyway, Joel, back to you. How are you going today?
I have no idea.
We're doing well. We're doing well.
Yep, we're getting there.
Okay, so my question to you was, how did you get into Pokemon? Or Pokemon. I say it with a silent E. So how did you get into Pokemon?
I got into it due to the influence of my sister.
Nice.
Because, all the siblings and stuff like that. Yeah, I think I said before, I think it was Pokemon Sapphire that my sister got me into, so yeah.
Yep. Nice one. Okay, so we'll jump straight into it. So to begin with, I'm just going to be asking you a couple of personal questions.
Oh god. Alright.
And then we're going to go straight into the Pokemon stuff. So initially I just asked you what got you into Pokemon, but what in general got you into gaming? What game or what experience got you into it?
Probably Rayman 2. Back in Singapore, we didn't have that many games, and so we had a limited selection of what we could actually play, and Rayman 2 was the most common game that we ever played, so me and my sister ever played.
Yep.
And so, yeah, that would probably be the game that got me into gaming.
Okay, what kind of games did you have back then?
I'm pretty sure it was Rayman 2, Age of Empires 2. Yep. That's it.
Yeah.
Those were the only two, I think. I'm not 100% sure.
Awesome choices. I started off with Did you start off with PC or?
PC, yeah.
PC, okay. I started off with the Nintendo 64, which probably everybody knows who watches the Power Up podcast. Yeah, what were you going to say?
I also have a N64, but PC Master Race.
PC Master Race. Well, I went from an Xbox to a PC, and I can say that it's definitely better. The only thing that I do prefer from a console is the controller, because I'm still not quite used to mouse and keyboard kind of things, and some games it's just too confusing. So, yeah, that's my life story in a nutshell. So, obviously you do write for CoG, or Culture of Gaming, as we're formerly known as.
Yep.
Why did you get into journalism? What was the thing that kind of got you into it?
I like writing in general. Writing stories.
Yep.
Writing reviews, stuff like that.
Yep.
And so I thought, give any sort of journalism a go. So I sent out a lot of resumes to a lot of companies to try it out.
Yeah.
To improve my writing, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. Sorry, go on.
No, that's it.
That's it. Okay, fair enough. That's the thing with a lot of writers, like a lot of people who work for like smaller sites like us, and like I've worked or written for, I think, 30 websites now. I started when I was 14, I think. I started writing when I was 14, like for journalism and whatnot. So it's definitely something that does definitely help your writing, and particularly the way you even talking and whatever definitely helps you as far as conversations and all that kind of stuff. So what do you do at CoG, or Culture of Gaming?
I write.
You write.
I write and review, and now and then I attend the podcasts.
Yep.
As well. I really enjoy those. That's actually so fun just to just talk with a couple of close friends about games and stuff like that. Most of the time I have no idea what I'm actually talking about, because I. So you just got me having my own input.
Yeah.
I feel like because I happen to be the youngest of all of the writers, so I'm treated like a baby most of the time.
Wait, how old are you?
I am 19.
Ooh.
I'm turning So yeah.
Okay, I did not know that. Good to know. Proves that the boss
So, yeah.
knows what he's talking about when it comes to employees. Awesome job from my part. Yeah, so you go on podcasts and you write, and obviously you're on this, unless it's a ghost of yours or something. I don't know.
I don't know, maybe, but yeah. Also, we do Let's Plays. We're doing Torchlight 2.
Yep.
Yeah. And when's the Portal 2 one coming out?
Well, we've got to get a couple more episodes before I string together a like funny moments kind of video. So that'll be it's on the horizon, definitely.
Okay.
So
looking forward to it.
What's your favorite game of all time?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Tough questions today. Come on.
There's so many games that I honestly enjoy, but one that probably is close to my heart would be Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
On the N64.
Nice. Yeah.
That's probably it.
Yep. I mean, I can also say that one of my favourite games is on the Nintendo 64, which is Donkey Kong 64. And if they're doing a Nintendo Mini, I really hope that they bring that across, but I don't think they will because of the whole licensing and all that kind of stuff. I was going to say marketing then, but it's completely the wrong word for that statement. Okay, so into the Pokemon stuff. What would you say is your favourite Pokemon game?
I don't think I can include hacked versions, can I?
No, they're gonna be legit. But of course, we don't on CoG Report partake of any hacking or, ripped versions or anything. So,
let's see. I actually don't know.
You don't.
the spin-off scale, because I sort of enjoy Pokemon Conquest. I think that was a really interesting game.
Yep.
Not particularly my favorite, but I think it deserves more praise.
Mm. Yeah, fair enough.
I'm trying to think. I like the Pokemon Ranger series as well. That one was alright until it got to the third one, which then I got no idea what happened. Oh, okay. I'm trying to think of one of the main games that sticks out particularly to me.
If you can't answer it, then that's okay. I mean, we've all got games that kind of mold together in all our favorites.
Yeah, because I like each of the games because it has something different.
Yeah.
And I like the evolution that Pokemon has gone through.
Mm.
Yeah, so let's see. Pokemon Gold had like the biggest plot twist in the end, which I really enjoyed.
Yep.
But maybe Diamond and Pearl, the 4th gen.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
4th gen.
I've played probably 2 Pokemon games. I didn't play any on the Nintendo 64. I didn't play any on the GameCube. I didn't even play any on the Wii. Were there any on the Wii? I don't think there were.
I think out of all of the ones that you did, there was only Pokemon Stadium on the N64. Yeah. And that was terrible, if I remember correctly.
And I even had a 3DS and a DS and all that, and I never really got into the Pokemon games. So once again, I'm the perfect person to be interviewing someone about Pokemon. Anyway, how do you think the Pokemon series has changed over the years? Oh,
definitely improved. From something from the original Pokemon games, it was a unique concept. It is reused over and over again in the mainstream games, but I feel like they're always adding something new to try and make it feel fresh and stuff like that. It's because of franchises like this, like Legend of Zelda, like Pokemon, that just constantly evolve over and over again. The game is still living, especially since it's such a good concept to children. And since it was such a good concept, lots of us, when we grow up, we still like these games. That's why a lot of the fan base is actually older rather than children, even though it's targeted to children.
Yeah.
Because it's something that you just can't get rid of.
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
when you're older.
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like I'm a person who's it's kind of like Zelda games for me. Like I love the concept of them. I love the idea that you're in a fake world and you got to do all these puzzle stuff and whatever. And it's like
Mhm.
Pokemon. I love the idea of going around and collecting Pokemon and going to the different areas and finding them and catching them and all that. But I never got into it. Like, sure, I played some of the games, but I never really. It didn't catch me. And it's kind of the same
Mhm.
with Zelda with me as well.
Okay.
Hmm. Uh,
Well, it's not for everyone.
yeah, I know, and I think that was also the issue with me. I kind of like thought of Pokemon as like a kids game, and it's something. Oh, I'm too old for that. But then you got these people who are like
You're never
30.
too old for Pokemon.
Exactly,
You're never too old for Pokemon.
exactly. It's like any game, I suppose. Um, so how do you think the Nintendo Switch will change the way we play Pokemon? Because there hasn't been a Pokemon game on the Switch yet. I think they just released one yesterday, which is Pokemon Quest.
I think that has a lot of potential
Yep.
with the Switch because it's moved from handheld to a much more powerful console,
Yep.
and so the things that they can honestly do with the Pokemon franchise is I don't know, it's like infinite. They can well, not infinite, but it's massive. I don't know. So yeah, they can. I think it just has a lot of potential.
Hmm.
That's all.
Well, I mean, they've
But
got the
I don't know for sure
yeah,
because I don't think there's been any good Pokemon console games outside of the DS.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of hasn't gone into that territory yet. And I mean, with the Switch, they've got the whole motion control thing, and it's a more powerful system, and it's got a couple of more feet. Like I personally don't have a Switch either. Well, not either, but I don't have one. um, so it's kind of, I think it's, as you said, it's got a lot of potential, and it's something that I think once people, if they do the right thing, and if they actually take it back to its roots a little bit, and kind of give people the traditional Pokemon RPG kind of element, then I think people will be happy with it, and I think that it'll make it'll. I think it's got the possibility to take off as well, which is definitely important for any series.
I don't think they should make it traditional.
Mm,
This is just my opinion. They should probably expand on something that's much more capable with the console.
yeah,
Because the reason why the Pokemon games were limited in the first place with the handheld consoles, it's particularly because it's handheld.
yeah,
It does not have everything in it. While with the Switch, it's handheld, but like I said, it's more capable than the Game Boy, DS, that sort of thing.
yep.
I think they should honestly just go outside the comfort zone and just expand it even further.
Mm,
It has more potential and
yep.
they can do it, so why not just
Yeah,
just
true, true.
put everything in it?
Yeah.
I don't know, put every single region in it or something like that.
Just go crazy. But we've also got to keep in mind as well that, like with games nowadays, like Halo and Gears of War, they're like or I keep saying like, but they're around the 60 gigabyte size limit or size range, and the Switch only had 32 gigs. So we've also got to be
Okay,
careful about what, like how like they've got to be careful about how big they want to make the game, and I
true.
suppose I'd have to keep an eye on the size limit of it as well. And when I say go back to their roots, I mean like don't just give them a whole new game with completely different Pokemon and a completely different change kind of thing. At least try and capture people's imaginations to begin with, and try and get people drawn in a little bit, and then kind of go crazy from there.
I think
Yeah.
a Breath of the Wild style Pokemon game.
Ooh, that's actually a good idea. That would be interesting.
I would play that. I would 100% play that.
I suppose you could kind of look at Dragon Quest as well from there, because Dragon Quest is kind of the same element, but I mean, the DS versions of Dragon Quest, like you got to collect the little monsters and then they kind of fight by your side, I suppose. Kind of like Ni no Kunai as
wait,
well.
which Dragon Quest is this? I only played like Sentinels of the Sky. I can't remember which one that is.
It was one of them that was on the DS. It wasn't on the 3DS, it was on the DS. I can't remember what it was called. But it was one of them.
Okay.
It was one of them. It's there. It exists. That's all good. Okay, so Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are going to be Gen 1 Pokemon. What does this mean for hardcore Pokemon fans?
Gen 1 Pokemon. First things first, I think it's a really good idea to go Pikachu and Eevee because those two are not only are they really popular, but I find it that it's more reminiscent to the anime like Pokemon Yellow was in the beginning, since it's a remake of Pokemon Yellow. And so, if you remember the anime, for those of you that actually watched it, the rival, Gary, it had an Eevee. So the rival Pokemon to Eevee. So I think that's one of the reasons why they went for it. Also, because Eevee's adorable, and so you gotta have a mascot character. So I think they're good choices. I do have a feel like that a remake of a Gen 1 game again, it's a bit stale unless they add something completely different, which any new additions to it. Then I think it's kind of stale. The idea is kind of stale.
Yeah, fair enough. And I mean, I suppose, like the developers have said about the game that they're not planning on adding any different generations even down the line after the game's been out for like even 6 months or a year or whatever. So I mean, it's kind of a good way of getting, like, I kind of see it as a good way of getting new players into it, like for instance myself, who does want to play with Pikachu because that's kind of the only Pokemon we know. Pikachu, Squirtle, Venusaur or something. I don't know. I'm not a
Venusaur.
Venusaur, yeah. And what's the other one? Charmander. That's right. What?
Nothing.
It's all good.
You went Squirtle, Venusaur. Venusaur's the last evolution. You mean Bulbasaur?
Oh, Bulbasaur. That's the one.
I like to start with these Pokemon: Squirtle, Charmander, or Venusaur. I think I would go for the last evolution one. Yeah. I don't know, but yeah. So from what I heard about Pokemon Let's Go, it syncs with Pokemon Go, right?
No idea. I don't believe so.
I heard it syncs with Pokemon Go, so you can you play Pokemon Go and then you can transfer it.
Okay, yes, it does. It does.
Okay. First things first, Pokemon Go flopped.
Yep.
Or at least I'm not 100%, but sure. But in my opinion, it definitely flopped because you stand around, you walk about, you catch, and then maybe you challenge gyms and stuff like that. It gets stale, and so having advertising this to newcomers is probably not in their best interest. I feel like having Pokemon Go as a representation of what the Pokemon games are like to newcomers, it's a letdown. It out of all honesty, Pokemon Go is just not that great. And introducing this using this as a means of advertising another Pokemon game in hopes of getting newcomers, it's just a terrible idea.
Yeah,
it might work. You might get newcomers, but I just think there could be much better ways to do it.
I think it's important that they cater to the hardcore fans and also give content to the people who might want to get into it as well. Kind of like any game, like the Elder Scrolls series or even Fallout or anything like that. So it's if the whole game is catered towards newcomers, then they're going to really annoy the older generation of Pokemon players, which could be a bit of a problem. But yeah, we'll see how that plays out. So I just want to touch a little on Pokemon Quest. Early reports of people, as in people from our own site. Two of our writers have downloaded it and given it a crack. Pokemon Quest, this is. Early reports of people playing the game say that certain items, example stones, etc., are locked behind a steep paywall. So when I say steep paywall, they're talking.
It's pay to win.
Pay to win, and
or pay to get faster, or to level up faster.
Well, that's all well and good, but $20, I believe, is the minimum amount you can spend. It's not like $1.50.
20.
Yeah, it's not like, for instance, a mobile game like SimCity or whatever, where it's just like $1.50 for 6,000 coins or whatever. It's $20 to begin with. I'm not too sure if they're going to be lowering that price or whatever. So
I hope they do, because that's just ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
So, items being locked behind this steep paywall is something that we're starting to see mobile games do more and more of, and there is also a cooldown period between a certain amount of moves in game. Say after 6 turns, you run out of energy and you've got to wait 1 or 2 hours in real time before continuing. So you've got to put the game down, wait an hour, then jump back into it, and yay, you've got enough power to keep going.
I hate games with energy. It is so annoying. Like, I want to play the game as much as I want. Thank you very much. I don't need to be limited by, like, the company.
Yeah.
I can make my own life choices. Thank you much. I'm not.
Exactly.
I mean, like, what's the point in having it? I want to have fun, but this is just blocking me off.
Exactly. So, do you think this is a healthy thing that games should be doing more of, or just a pain in the neck? It's a pain in the neck.
The only reason why I see they even have that in the first place is, one, to help limit people, and that's only good with like certain games that get players addicted and stuff like that. And two, is to earn more money.
Yeah,
it's legitimately just to earn more money. I cannot actually see any other reason outside those two reasons. And yeah, I just don't see how it benefits the player at all.
Yep. It's just like, I kind of understand with game, like I've been playing a lot of SimCity recently, which is like a mobile game, and it's also on PC as well. It's kind of like
it's also on the Wii.
Oh, is it? Okay.
yeah. The SimCity. I'm pretty sure it's been part of Nintendo for ages. I know SimCity Creator is. I used to play that a lot, and the original SimCity was on the Wii, I think.
Interesting.
I have to double check that, but yeah.
Well, they've got a SimCity 4 on PC, which is around $20, and the thing is, I kind of understand where you've got to wait for stuff to be built, like buildings being built, or streets, or items being crafted, or something like that. But for a game where, well, like they've got to make steel and hammers and all that kind of stuff. So, I don't.
That's new. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, it's in the mobile version. I don't know if it's in the PC version or whatever. But I mean, why do they have to make people get? It's a disjointing experience, and it's not nice to be playing a game and it's like, oh yeah, gee, I love this, and then I can't proceed for an hour unless I want to pay like $5 to unlock more power. Cool, great to hear. It's just a joke, in my opinion. It's an absolute joke. And I think I might be a bit harsh, but a game is a game. People sit down to enjoy a game, and people... It's like cutting off Zelda, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and saying, oh, you can only do one mission, and then, you've got to wait an hour. It's just... It's ridiculous. So, it's just... Do you have any more thoughts on that, or?
I get that they want to, like I said, if the idea is to limit players to not play for the whole entire day,
yep.
I think games that have like you said, building and construction and stuff like that, where it takes time to build something, and so then you have to wait.
Exactly.
I think those are fine because those are in the scope of the actual game, and it adds a sense of realism.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And the players can get behind it because it makes sense. But having the energy thing, which is a physical wall blocking you, that just completely gets rid of any control that the player has. Well, without the energy system, right? If you were to wait for an hour to the construction and stuff like that, that is your own choice to do so. So you're given a choice, and so the player has power when it comes to a decision like that. So I think if they honestly, if that's the reason why they want it, they can also earn money that way to like speed up the construction. I think that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But energy system, they should just get rid of it. Hate it.
Yeah, and I think they're kind of trying to get on the bandwagon of the whole microtransaction situation, like what Call of Duty's doing and all of that. So, but they're trying to do it in their own way, which doesn't really work, unfortunately. And the mobile version of Pokemon Quest, I was going to say Let's Go then, but it's Pokemon Quest, comes out in June. The Switch version is already out. It came out yesterday, and Pokemon Let's Go Pokemon, I believe, comes out next year. I think.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but I believe that is when it comes out. I think it's early next year.
Yeah.
So, as far as Pokemon customization, do you think Pokemon games need this element? Like, sure, it's a fun thing for people to dress up and customize their Pokemon, but do you feel that this kind of takes away from the age-old Pokemon feel?
I'm actually kind of both sides for this. I think it's nice to have the option to do so because you never know, there might be someone that enjoys it and stuff like that. Don't quote me on it. Yeah. But yeah, I think having the option there to get closer to your Pokemon is a good idea. Yeah. But I think that part would be a good idea. But the whole customization thing, I am not really a fan of.
It's yeah. I mean, as I said for the previous question, it's kind of them trying to get on the Call of Duty bandwagon and introduce microtransactions and all that kind of fun, beautiful stuff that people absolutely love. 100%, not. So it's. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of split on it as well. It's a fun thing to do, but for me, if I was to go out and buy a $59 Pokemon game, I would kind of want to keep them. I mean, it depends. It depends if they're putting it behind... It entirely depends if they're putting it behind, oh, you need this level to get past this area, and you need to upgrade your Pokemon to get past this area kind of thing. If they don't do that, then cool. But if they do, it's kind of, yeah.
Wait, when you say customization, do you mean like the dress em ups?
Yeah.
I thought that's what we're talking about. Then what does this have to do with the level up from before?
Oh, no. I'm saying that if you've got to for instance, let's just say hypothetically that Pokemon have armor, for instance.
They do.
They do. Okay.
Well, they have defense stats. That's pretty much armor.
Yeah. That's absolutely awesome. That's good to have. I'm saying I'm saying that they shouldn't be having, for instance, like if you go into a level and they say, hey, you need this kind of level to progress, and then to get that level, you've got to put a certain you've got to put a certain costume on your Pokemon to get to that level. Is kind of what I'm saying. God. So I
hope they never do that.
Yeah,
forcing customization onto players is not a good idea.
Exactly. So I'm probably dead wrong, and I'm not explaining it very well, but I'm just hoping that they don't actually have that kind of scenario. Hopefully. So
maybe it's a side quest thing, like Pokemon contests.
Yeah, maybe.
Something like that.
They could introduce that, I suppose. So we know next to nothing about the upcoming Pokemon core game. So Nintendo is planning on bringing out a proper Pokemon RPG like what they've had previously for a console. Unlike
Be like Breath of the Wild. Please be like Breath of the Wild.
So they're basically planning on doing a proper, like a third proper Pokemon game for the Nintendo Switch. Not something like Let's Go Pokemon or Pokemon Quest. They're planning on doing a proper, down-to-earth Pokemon RPG. And they're calling that a core game. They don't have a name for it or anything. And that is set for release next year. What are your thoughts on that? And what do you... Like, you've said that you want it to be like a Breath of the Wild scenario. What else would you love to see in it?
I was merely joking about the Breath of the Wild thing, but I think that'll be a pretty interesting idea.
Speculate.
Honestly, I just want to see something that goes outside the meta of the mainstream game, but it's still a mainstream game and has, the feel of Pokemon. The idea of Pokemon is... Well, first things first, you have Pokemon, and you go on this journey to become the very best. Surely they can have a mainstream game that's, different from the handheld ones that we already have.
Yeah.
Also, do I talk about Pokemon Quest and Pokemon Let's Go as well?
You can if you want. Go for it.
Okay. I honestly think they're both terrible ideas.
Yeah. Why?
Pokemon Quest, I looked at the overall game design. Not my style. It looks kiddish and Minecrafty.
Yep, I totally agree.
That was just my personal opinion. Let's go. First things first. From what I've seen, you can't even evolve Pikachu or Eevee. You're stuck with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing.
Yep.
Secondly, the whole catching thing is like Pokemon Go. No, I hate it. I absolutely hate that the catching system's like Pokemon Go. You had the whole, you lower down the enemy Pokemon HP, and then you have to catch it with a Pokeball. In a sense, that takes some skill, I don't know, and realism and stuff like that. But the idea is that if you can catch any Pokemon that you want without, doing any battle with it, that's just completely ridiculous. That was one of the major turnoffs for me for Pokemon Go. And to have that in a mainstream game, it just takes all the fun out of it. On the offhand, I think the graphics are good.
Yep.
The graphics are nice and stuff like that. What other thoughts do I have? I don't like the fact that it's a remake of Pokemon Yellow. Yeah. I think they should have just either made a completely new region or just redone one of the newer regions. Because we have, the 3 games already. And then after that, we have Pokemon Yellow. That's still in the Kanto region.
Yep.
Then we have the Fire Red series and stuff like that. Fire Red, Leaf Green, that sort of thing. Which is a remake already. And there's plenty of remakes. There's no need to remake it, one more time.
Yeah.
Like, surely fans are going to get tired of the Kanto region. If they honestly want to play the Kanto region, just play Fire Red. It's still viable as a game. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like Heart Gold and Soul Silver as well. Silver.
I think Heart Gold and Soul Silver were right. It's just I don't want another Johto region game afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Heart Gold was one of the only it was like the second Pokemon game that I ever played. And the last Pokemon game that I ever played. And I don't think I've touched a Pokemon game since then. So, interesting stuff. So that about does it for all of the questions that we have for today. Do you have any closing thoughts on anything at all? Or?
Big Pokemon Conquest 2. I just want it to happen. Like, it was promised, 5 years ago? 4 or 5 years ago, and I've been looking forward to it for that many years. Except no sign of Pokemon Conquest 2.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. For anyone that's watching this, play Pokemon Conquest 2 if you like the normal Pokemon games. I think it's just such an interesting spin-off. Hands down, it's just interesting.
Bring Pokemon to the PC.
You got the hacked, you got the hacked versions for it, like Pokemon Glaze, Pokemon Insurgents. So those I recommend those too if you ever want to play hacked versions. Glaze has a really interesting story.
Yep.
And stuff like that, and it's not that big compared to like Pokemon Insurgents, so your computer can't really handle it. Just Glazed is a good option.
Yep.
And Pokemon Insurgents has a lot of interesting concepts. Not only does it have more Mega Evolutions, there's a Mega Eevee. It actually looks so cool. But it also introduces Delta species into the game, which I think they should actually do it in the mainstream. In the main games, because in the Pokemon trading cards you got Delta species, which is where Pokemon are different types.
Yep.
It's an interesting concept. Like, you got a lowland Pokemon already. What's to stop Delta species from being introduced into the game? I think, having more diversity like that is really cool.
Yeah, I totally get that, and and I mean, they need to kind of increase the level cap, I suppose you could say. So I think each Pokemon has, what is it, 3?
100.
Wait.
100 levels.
So how many evolutions does it have?
Oh. It depends on the Pokemon. Some don't evolve, some only have one more evolution, some have 2 evolutions, and then some of them have Mega Evolutions after that.
Yeah, okay.
I think those are fine, though.
Yeah, I just, like, with the experience...
I just think there's more... I just think there should be more Mega Evolutions.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's also fun.
And with the experience that I've had with Pokemon, which is limited, I mean, some of the Pokemon that I've had, I would have loved to have seen more evolutions and whatnot. But I mean, that's the way it is. And the Delta evolutions sound pretty cool. So I may
Delta species.
Delta species.
Not Delta. Delta species.
Delta species. Yep. I will not go and download that cracked version. And then we'll see how we go. No, we don't. Remember, we don't agree with that stuff. So,
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, for those who have been watching, thanks for watching. As usual, you can find us on Facebook, which you are here, on Twitter, on YouTube, and this will also be on YouTube probably early next week. I'll put that up here for those who haven't seen it. You'll be able to catch it there. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next week for the next CoG Report. Enjoy.